Friends, in the previous topic, what we have studied about the close packing. Now, I am just going to repeat it again so that concepts can be clear more. Close packing in one dimensions. When we have to do the close packing in one dimension, what we do, we put the spheres in one row. Now, you can see if the spheres can be put in this type, then with one sphere, as I have just darkened it, only two spheres can be in direct contact. So the number of spheres with which one sphere is in direct contact, that is called as its coordination number. So for close packing in one dimension, the coordination number is 2. Then close packing in the two dimensions. In two dimensions, there are two types of close packing which can be there: square close packing and hexagonal close packing. As I have put down a row of spheres, if I place the rows on them one over the another, then you can see that this type of arrangement is formed. Now, if we see, if I darken this circle, then with it there are 4 number of spheres which are in direct contact. Similarly, these 4, if I join the center of these, then these form a square. So that's why it is called as square close packing, and it is called as AAA type, because the layers which are coming here, they are same. Now, what I do, if first row is this, second row I can place here also. If I place the circles here, then the arrangement would be just like this. Then again I am placing the circles, the spheres, then the arrangement would be like this. So in this case, if I darken one circle, then it is formed by with it 6 spheres are in direct contact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So its coordination number is 6. If I join the centers of all these spheres, then what you will see? You will see that it is a hexagon. So that's why it is called as hexagonal close packing. And the name of it is AB type. Because here the second layer is different from the first layer. It is just not on the first layer. Okay. Now, we have studied earlier. Now you can see by the arrangement that there are two types of you can say voids here. One is pointing upwards and other one is pointing downwards. Suppose those which are pointing downwards, let them we say them A, and those pointing upwards we say them B. Now last time we have studied about the two voids also. What were those two voids? One was tetrahedral void and other one was octahedral void. Now what was tetrahedral void? The void which is surrounded by 4 spheres. Very, very important, because they can come in the exams also. The question is asked, what is the difference between the tetrahedral void as well as the octahedral void? So we have to learn the definition of them also. The void which is surrounded by 4 spheres which lie at the vertices of a regular tetrahedron. First of all, it is surrounded by the 4 spheres. Then it lies at the vertices of a regular tetrahedron. Is called as a tetrahedral void. And last time we have studied that for each atom there are 2 tetrahedral voids. Similarly, octahedral void, the void which is surrounded by 6 spheres, they are tetrahedral. Tetra means 4. Here it is surrounded by 6. Octa means 6. So the voids which is surrounded by 6 spheres are formed by a combination of 2 triangular voids. Now you can break this definition in 2 parts. First is this part, that is, it is formed by the 6 spheres. Second part, it is formed by a combination of 2 triangular voids. It is formed by the combination of 2 triangular voids. One in the downwards in the first layer and one in the upwards layer, which points opposite to each other. Okay, so number of octahedral voids is equal to the number of atoms present in the crystal lattice. So for one atom present, the number of octahedral voids is also 1. Now study about the close packing in 3 dimensions.
Students, you can see here that those voids in which the apex is pointing downwards, that is named as A, and those which is pointing upwards, that is named as B. Now when we start covering the voids of A type, then you can see by yourself that 2 types of another voids are formed. One is D and other one is C. As far as D is concerned, it is formed on a void of first layer. So means 3 spheres are downwards and 3 spheres are upwards. So it is an octahedral void. Whereas as far as the C is concerned, it is the void which is formed by the second layer only. Okay, 3 spheres of second layer and 1 sphere of first layer. So it is a tetrahedral void. This is very important to note what type of void is formed. D is a octahedral void and C is a tetrahedral void. Now if we start covering the voids C, then an arrangement is formed in which first layer is different to the second layer, and then again the third layer which is coming on, which is similar to that of first layer. So the arrangement which comes out is AB, AB, AB type of arrangement, and it is called as hexagonal close packing. Whereas if we start covering the octahedral voids, that is D, then first layer is different to the second and second is different to the third. Means A, B and C arrangement is formed, and then again when we start covering, when we cover the fourth, then it again comes to that of A, similar to that of A. So here the arrangement is ABC, ABC, ABC type. And as far as the coordination number is concerned, here in both HCP and CCP, the coordination number is 12. A sphere is in contact with 6 other spheres in its own layer. 3 spheres are touching directly layer to the layer upwards and 3 spheres in the layer below.
So the coordination number in both HCP and CCP I have told you. Now example of HCP: beryllium, magnesium, zinc. If you see, these are of second group, beryllium, magnesium. So learn second group elements belongs to the HCP. Then CCP, coinage metals. You have to listen about the metals from which the coins are formed: copper, gold, silver. Then iron is also vastly used. These all are examples of CCP. And one more thing, here the space occupied by both of them is 74%. How much it is? 74%. So that is the space occupied. Then what is the empty space left? Empty space left will be 26%. 74% packing efficiency, that is equal to 74%. Then empty space left. Empty space left, that is equal to 26%. Similarly, for the BCC, the packing efficiency is BCC. The packing efficiency is 68%, and empty space, that is equal to how much? It is equal to 32%. Sometimes question is asked from here that how much empty space is there in the BCC close packing or HCP close packing or CCP close packing, then you should know it. Students, today we are going to do the problems related to the formula formation from the void type of void given. Just like we do have a question. Question is, a compound is formed by two elements X and Y. Atoms of Y form CCP and those of element X occupies all the octahedral points. What is the formula of the compound formed? This type of question can be asked from you in the exam. So what we have to do? You have to study the question carefully. Therefore, said that the compound is formed by the two elements X and Y. Atoms of Y form CCP. Now, what we will say? Let the number of atoms of element Y is equal to n, which is forming the CCP arrangement. Let the number of atoms of element Y is equal to n. Now, if the number of atoms is n, then number of octahedral voids is also equal to n, because there is one octahedral void per atom. Here, the number of atoms we have considered n. So, the therefore, number of octahedral voids, that will also be equal to n. And according to the question, these all octahedral voids are occupied by X. So therefore, X ratio Y is equal to n is to n, or it is equal to 1 is to 1. Therefore, formula of the compound will be equal to xy. This is the second question, in which atoms of element B forms HCP lattice. Now we are forming the HCP lattice. So what we will do? We will consider that let the number of the atoms of B in HCP lattice is equal to n. First assumption. Then that of element A occupy 2/3 of tetrahedral voids. Now, once there is a n number of atoms, then number of octahedral void is equal to n, and number of tetrahedral void is equal to 2n. As I have told you, for one atom there are two tetrahedral voids. So we will write let the number of atoms of B in HCP lattice, it is equal to n. Then number of tetrahedral voids, it is equal to 2n. Then according to question, element A is occupying 2/3 of tetrahedral voids. So therefore, A will be equal to 2/3 of 2n. So therefore, formula of compound will be how much? A is 4/3n and B is n. Now we have to move this n and 3 here, so it will become A4 and B3. Because whatever we have done, we have multiplied with the 3 and removed the common terms. So the formula of the compound will become A4B3. Students, this time I have written the question in the short form. I hope you will understand it. Atoms B are arranged in CCP, that is cubic closed packet. A is divided equally in the TD means tetrahedral, and OC means octahedral voids. If all the octahedral voids are occupied, what is the formula of a compound? This is the question. Then solution. What we are given? V are arranged in CCP. So again same. Let the number of atoms of B in CCP is equal to n. Then number of octahedral voids, it is equal to n, and number of tetrahedral voids, it is equal to 2n. Now what they have said, that A is divided equally in tetrahedral and octahedral voids. This is one condition. We have to see the conditions which is given in the question. You have to read the question carefully. A is divided equally in tetrahedral voids and octahedral voids. Let me write here A octahedral void and tetrahedral voids. Okay. If all the octahedral voids are occupied, now how many octahedral voids were there? There were n octahedral voids, and all of them are occupied. It means that all the n are there, and tetrahedral, they have divided the A equally. They have divided the A equally. It means if n octahedral voids are filled by A, then n is filled by the A of tetrahedral voids also. So A will be n of octahedral voids and n of tetrahedral voids. So therefore number of atoms of A is equal to 2n. Therefore formula of compound will be is equal to A and B 2n. It will cut with this, so become AB2. Students, this is the last question which I am taking of all this formula formation. Last question is that O2 negative ions. Now what do you mean by O2 negative ion? O2 negative ion means oxide ions. Oxide ions are in the cubic closed packing, that is 1/6 of the tetrahedral voids are occupied by A, and 1/3 octahedral voids are occupied by ion B. What is the formula of the compound? This is the question. Now, since these are in the CCP, so our first duty is to write down, let the number of atoms, or you can say ions here, ions of O2 negative ion in CCP, it is equal to n. Then number of octahedral voids, that is equal to n, and number of tetrahedral voids, that is equal to 2n. Then according to the question, what is it is saying? It is saying that A occupies 1/6 of tetrahedral voids, that is 2n. So what is A? It is equal to n/3, and B occupies 1/3 of octahedral voids. And what are how many octahedral voids are there? N. So it also becomes n/3. Okay. So overall formula will become formula of the compound. A, B, O. Now A is how much? N by 3. B is N by 3 and O is N. So it will become ABO3. So this is how you have to find out the formulas from the given questions. Today I will give you an assignment. You have to do it in your copy. Before moving further, I will tell you one more question which is somewhat different from it. Now students, we are reaching up to that point which comes in the exams. Question is, calculate the number of unit cells in 8.1 gram of aluminium if it crystallizes in a FCC structure. Atomic mass of aluminium is equal to 27 gram per mole. This question was asked in CBSE 2017. You know, this solid state chapter was there in our syllabus up to 2019. In 2020 there was no solid state. This question was asked in CBSE 2017. So this is an important question. Now whenever you have to do a numerical, what you should have in your mind, first of all, what is given to us? So what is given here? Given number 1, it is a FCC structure. Number 2, mass of aluminium, that is equal to how much it is given? 8.1 gram. Third, what we have to calculate to find out. What we have to find out? Number of unit cells. Now what is given and what we have to find out? We have to start finding a relationship. How the relationship develops? We know that in a FCC unit cell, number of atoms, it is equal to 4. We already have done it, and it is equal to 4. So 4 atoms makes a 1 FCC unit cell. Now we know that here atoms are there, unit cell is there, and one more thing is there, that is mass. So we can establish a relationship between a mass and atoms. We know gram atomic mass, it is equal to N naught atoms. N naught means Avogadro number. So gram atomic mass of aluminium, we will do it of aluminium. So it will become 27 grams. It is equal to 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms. Okay. So for 27 grams, this many atoms are there. So for 1 gram, how many atoms are there? For 1 gram, 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms upon 27. And I will do it here. And for 8.1 gram of aluminium, number of aluminium atoms, it is equal to 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 upon 27 into 8.1. Now what we have find out? We have find out that number of aluminium atoms. And what is the relationship between the number of atoms and unit cell? 4 atoms make a 1 unit cell. 4 atoms make a 1 unit cell. So what we have find out? We have find out that how many atoms are present in 8.1 gram. So once we find out the number of atoms present, then we can say that if 4 atoms make 1 unit cell, then 1 atom will make how many unit cell? 1 by 4 unit cell. And how many these atoms will form? We have to multiply with it. So again, simple method. Let me move here. This is given part. We can also move the question part also now. Since 4 atoms is equal to 1 unit cell, so 1 atom of aluminium 1 by 4 unit cells. So number of atoms we have found out. Therefore 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 into 8.1 upon 27 atoms of aluminium will form how many unit cells? 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 into 8.1 upon 27 into 1 by 4. Solving this, the answer will come out to be 4.515 into 10 raised to power 22. So this is the way how to do the question. Today I have told you how to do the problem part. This is very, very important both for the competitive as well as the board exams. Now in the next lecture I will tell you about the density of the unit cell.